Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 Sacramento County Poetry Out Loud virtual competition. I'm Tim Herrera, Communications Director for the Sacramento County Office of Education. We are proud to be one of the sponsors of this wonderful event. We are honoring a group of amazing local students for their dedication to the arts and to poetry. The Sacramento County Poetry Out Loud competition encourages high school students to learn about great poetry through memorization, performance, and competition. Like the National Spelling Bee, Poetry Out Loud winners advance to school-wide, then county-wide, and then statewide competition. In this program, we will meet some of the top high school performers in Sacramento County. This year, students submitted their performances via video, and a committee of esteemed judges viewed and scored each performance. During this program, we will have the privilege of watching some of those performances. At the end of this program, we will announce the names of two students. One will be Sacramento County's representative to the state competition. The other will be the runner-up. Now, before we begin, Sacramento County Superintendent of Schools, David W. Gordon, would like to welcome you all.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Sacramento County Office of Education and our Board of Education, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our virtual 17th Annual Sacramento County Poetry Out Loud competition. We wish we could enjoy this competition with you in person because this is such a fantastic celebration of the arts. But nonetheless, we look forward to the virtual event. The last couple of years have been especially challenging for us all. The COVID-19 restrictions have made everything more difficult. Your lives have been disrupted and interrupted. Yet despite all the challenges, you persevered and have reached our Sacramento County final competition. Congratulations to all on a job well done. Our student presenters and their coaches have invested a lot of time and energy getting ready for this year's competition. Thank you to all of them. I also want to thank our judges who took time out of their busy schedules to help. Judges, your time and dedication made it possible for us to reward students for their creative efforts. Poetry Out Loud is an outstanding program that highlights the value of arts education in our schools. And so why should we support poetry in our schools? Well, poetry enables teachers to teach students how to write, read, and understand almost any text. Poetry gives students a healthy emotional outlet. Reading and reciting poetry aloud emphasizes speaking and listening skills often neglected in literature classes. Students who might struggle writing essays may find poetry as their entryway to other forms of writing. When talking about young writers, poet Phil Levine once said, "Listen to these young poets and you'll discover the voice of the present and hear the voice of the future before the future is even here." To that I say, listen to these talented students perform. You will hear the voices of our future leaders, and I know our future is in good hands. So everyone, prepare to be captivated and prepare to be moved. Congratulations again, everyone, and please enjoy the program.
All right, thank you, Superintendent Gordon. Now, before we move on, let's meet our judges who had a really tough job once again this year. Our performance judges are Dr. L. Stephen Winlock, the Executive Director for the SCOE School of Education, Tammy Patton, Director, Teacher Induction Program for the School of Education, Brett Nelson, Director, SCOE Sly Park Environmental Education Center, and Emily Dans, Education Outreach Director at the Clara. That's the Performing Arts Theater downtown. Our accuracy judges are Margaret Arthofer, Director, SCOE California Leadership Academy, and Christine Lewin, Staff Secretary, SCOE California Leadership Academy. And our score tabulator is Sydney Rossi, Staff Secretary, SCOE Sly Park Environmental Education Center, and the SCOE School of Education. We also want to offer special thanks to our partners at 916 Inc. and Coach Damon Plant for providing coaching for the Poetry Out Loud participants and schools. Damon helped prepare students for their final recitations for the contest by leading in performance-focused activities that incorporated body language, rhythm, and articulation. Now it's time to begin the 2022 Sacramento County Poetry Out Loud competition. Our first presenter is Samantha Albiani from Elk Grove High School. Welcome, Samantha. Tell us about your poems that you selected and then introduce your first presentation.
My first poem is Across the Street. I was really drawn to it because it has a very unique style of repetition that's kind of broken. And I thought that was fascinating how it was written. It's a pretty sad poem, but I really do love the style of it. And then my second poem is The Conqueror Worm by Edgar Allan Poe. And I just really loved the tone that it has and how I was able to illustrate that. But also the last couplet is probably my favorite couplet I've ever seen anywhere because it's very fun. So yeah, my first poem is Across the Street.
All right, let's watch.
I ran across the street. I didn't know any better. Ran out in the street. I didn't know no better. Just knew a woman was there, though I'd never met her. She sat me in our parlor, distracted me with trinkets, milky glass birds and fish, distracting trinkets. She said my mother would be fine, but did she think it? The world was a blur of crystal wings and fins. My tears were cast in crystal wings and fins. She was the first of many lady friends. The tree shadow shortened. She brought me a drink of water. Morning matured. She brought me a glass of water. I drank it so fast, she went and brought another. I kept looking out the window. She didn't ask me what for. I watched out that window. She didn't ask what for. The seconds broke off and lay there on the floor. I imagined my mother's route as far as I could. Her long morning walk followed as far as I could. Nothing I could do would do any good. Suffer the little children and forbid them not. Christ said, suffer the little children and forbid them not. Said, love thy neighbor. Sometimes she's all you got.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that presentation, Samantha. That was great. We appreciate it. So our next presenter is Ashley Hurtado Hernandez from Grant Union High School. She is unable to join us for this, but we'd like to show you her first presentation.
I ran across the street, I didn't know any better. I ran out to the street, I didn't know no better. I just knew a woman was there, though I never met her. She sat me in her parlor, distracting me with trinkets, milky glass birds and fish, distracting trinkets. She said my mother would be fine, but did she think it? The world was a blur of crystal wings and fins. My tears were cast in crystal wings and fins. She was the first of many lady friends. The tree shadow shortened. She brought me a drink of water. I drank it so fast, she went and brought another. I kept looking out the window. She didn't ask what for. I watched out the window. She didn't ask what for. The seconds broke off and lay there on the floor. I imagined my mother's route as far as I could. Nothing I could do would do any good. Suffer the little children and forbid them not. Christ said, suffer the little children and forbid them not. Said, love thy neighbor. Sometimes she's all you got.
Thank you. That was Ashley Hurtado Hernandez from Grant Union High School. Thank you for that. Now our next presenter is Sandhya Ahuja from John F. Kennedy High School. Welcome, Sandhya. Tell us a little bit about your poems and why you selected them, and then go ahead and introduce your first presentation.
Okay, well, the first poem I chose is called Altered After Too Many Years Under the Mask by C.A. Conrad. And the reason I was drawn to this poem is because of its shape, it looks like a tornado, and that was really interesting for me. And upon analysis of the poem, I was introduced to somatic poetry writing style. And I discovered that the complexities of the world are way too nuanced to be expressed in a straight line. So I really enjoyed kind of working with a poem that has like twists and turns, and it also gave me more freedom when it came to the recitation of it.
All right, excellent. Well, let's look at your presentation.
I feel you. Judging me for becoming agoraphobic in someone else's house? I forget how I learned to stroll through grocery stores as though there is no crisis. My elbow cannot touch the middle of my back. My fingers, though, have found every part of me. Soon, no migration of wild animals will be unknown to humans. We will chart, film, record, publish, archive everything. It gives us something to do while we annihilate beauty. Poets. Shoveling a quarry that is really an ongoing crime scene investigation. A study in vomit imitating vast chronicles of the face. Whatever world we can hold, we will never agree our neglect was worth it. Whatever amount of crazy we can imagine coming at us, devil it. I found the perfect listening chair. Nothing but listeners who sit. I am sitting in it now and listening to my friend, the photographer, whose self-portrait I find reflected in eyes of her every photo.
All right, Sonia, thank you very much. That was great. We appreciate that. Our next presenter is Haley Puglia from Rio Americano High School. Welcome, Haley. So tell us about your poems and why you chose them, and then introduce your first presentation.
So my first poem was Snowflake by William Bear. It's about a snowflake forming and falling to the ground as two skaters fall in love. I chose this poem because of its hopeful tone, but also because at the time it was December, it was, right around the holidays, and it made me feel nostalgic and really ready for winter activities. Then my second poem was Dawn by Ella Higginson. This poem paints a picture of an early, gentle morning. I chose this poem because of its gentle tone and the strong imagery.
All right, Haley, thank you very much. Let's watch your presentation.
The soft tone clock upon the stair chimed 3. Too sweet for sleep, too early yet to rise. In restful peace I lay with half-closed eyes, watching the tender hours go dreamily. The tide was flowing in, I heard the sea shivering along the sands, while yet the skies were dim, uncertain, as the light that lies beneath the fretwork of some wild rose tree within the thicket gray. The chanticleer sent drowsy calls across the slumbrous air. In solemn silence, sweet it was to hear my own heartbeat, then broad and deep and fair, trembling in its new birth from heaven's womb. One crimson shaft of dawn sank through my room.
All right, very nice, Haley. Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Mac Stern from the Natomas Charter High School. Hi, Mac. Tell us about the poems that you selected, and then introduce your presentation for us, please.
My name is Mac Stern. The first poem that I chose is Portrait of My Gender is Inaudible by Meg Day. And I think it was really important to me when I was looking for poems in the first place was to find something that really touched on queerness and queer identity and transhood. And I feel like Meg Day put that so beautifully in this first poem. And I don't know, it was very just brilliant. And every time I read it and practiced it, it just I found new things to love about the cadence of it. And I don't know. Yeah.
I think you do know. You explained that very well. Thank you, Mac. Let's watch the presentation.
I knew I was a god when you could not agree on my name. And still none you spoke could force me to listen closer. Is this the nothing the antelope felt when Adam lit on his own, entitling, dubbed family, genus, species? So many descendants became doctors, delivered babies, bestowed bodies, names, as if to say it is to make it so. Can it be a comfort between us? The fact of my creation, I was made in the image of a thing without an image, and silence too is your invention. Who prays for God except to appear with answers, but never a body, a voice? If I told you, you wouldn't believe me because I was the one to say it. On the first day, there is no sound worth mentioning. If I too am a conductor of air, then the only praise I know is in stereo, one pair. An open hand and a closed fist will have to do. I made a photograph of my name. There's a shadow in a field, and I put my shadow in it. And you can't hear me, but I'm there.
Very nice, Mac. Thank you for that. Next, we have Joy Kaler from Inderkum High School. It's nice to meet you, Joy. Tell us about your poems and why you selected them.
The first poem I've chosen is It Was Not Death For I Stood Up by Emily Dickinson. To live is so stalling, it leaves little time for anything else. The first poem I read by Emily Dickinson felt like my heart was going to squeeze out of my chest, and nothing was ever going to make me feel as exhilarated. I knew that was poetry. That was the only poetry I wanted to know. There's no other poetry for me Poetry for me was going into another world and coming back incarnated. I've never quite loved anything like I love Emily Dickinson's poetry, and my love for Emily Dickinson is why I chose this poem.
All right, thank you, Joy. Let's watch Joy's first presentation.
It was not death, for I stood up, and all the dead lie down. It was not night, for all the bells put out their tongues for noon. It was not frost, for on my flesh I felt sirocco's crawl, nor fire, for just my marble feet could keep a chancel cool. And yet, it tasted like them all. The figures I had seen, set orderly for burial, reminded me of mine, as if my life was shaven and fitted to a frame and could not breathe without a key. And 'twas like midnight sun, when everything that ticked has stopped, as space stares all around, or grisly frosts, first autumn ones, repel the beating ground. But most, like chaos, stopless, cool, without a chance or a spar, or even a report of land, to justify despair.
All right, Joy, thank you very much. And our final presenter in round one is Arun Dixit from Vista del Lago High School. Thanks for being here, Arun. Tell us about your poems and why you selected them.
First of all, thank you for providing such a wonderful opportunity. It really has made a tremendous impact on my life. The first poem I chose today was Gitanjali 35 by Rabindranath Tagore. And what I learned is that it was published in 1901 during the British occupation of India by this author. And he really talks about his desire for a more just, a more liberated world. That was a message I really resonated with and just felt the need to bring up here. The second poem was Fire and Ice. That is by Robert Frost. This one has a bit of an unusual message, and I can't say I agree with all of it, but nonetheless, I found it very fascinating. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Arun. And let's take a look at the first presentation.
Where the mind is without fear, and the head is held high. Where knowledge is free. where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into an ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
All right, Arun, thank you very much. And I don't think there's any rule against applauding on Zoom. Thank you very much, you guys. You can clap for yourselves and your competitors. That was really well done. Really well done. Thank you. So now we're going to go into round two. So our first presenter in round two is Samantha Albiani from Elk Grove High School. Now, after graduation, Samantha plans to go to college studying environmental and natural resource systems. She would like to work on a team to help improve California's forest management policy. So let's watch Samantha's presentation.
Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome latter years. An angel throng, bewinged, bedight in veils, and drowned in tears, sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes, in the form of God on high, mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly. Mere puppets, they who come and go at the bidding of vast, formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings, invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth into the selfsame spot. And much of madness, and more of sin, and horror, the soul of the plot. But see amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It writhes with mortal pangs. The mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin fangs and human gore imbued. Out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling affirm that the play is the tragedy man, and its hero, the conqueror worm.
All right, Samantha, thank you for that great presentation. We appreciate it. Our next presenter is Ashley Hurtado Hernandez from Grant Union High School. After graduation, Ashley says she is determined to succeed and find herself happy on her way to success, which includes helping others succeed. Let's watch Ashley's second presentation.
Be music night, that her sleep may go, where angels have the pale, tall choirs. Be a hand see, that her dreams may watch thy guidesmen touching the green flesh of the world. Be a voice sky, that her beauties may be counted, and the stars will tilt their quiet faces into the mirror of her loveliness. Be a road, earth, that her walking may take thee, where the towns of heaven lift their breathing spurs. Oh, be a world enthroned God, that her living may find its weather, and the souls of ancient bell in child's book shall lead her into thy wondrous house.
All right, Ashley, thank you for that presentation. We appreciate it. Now, our next presenter is Haley Puglia from Rio Americana High School. Haley plans on attending college and studying chemical engineering and applied math. Let's watch Haley's performance.
Timing's everything. The vapor rises, high in the sky, tossing to and fro, then freezes suddenly and crystallizes into a perfect flake of miraculous snow. For countless miles, drifting east above the world, whirling about in a swirling free-for-all, appearing aimless, just like love, but sensing, seeking out its destiny, falling to where the two young skaters stand, hand in hand, then flips and dips and whips itself about to ever so gently land, a miracle across her unkissed lips, as he blocks the wind raging from the south, leaning forward to kiss her lovely mouth.
All right, Haley, thank you very much. Next, we have Sandia Ahuja from John F. Kennedy High School. After graduation, Sandia plans to attend UC Davis and attain a Bachelor's of Science degree in Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems to work on bettering food cultivation practices and improving soil health as a food and agriculture scientist. Let's watch Sandia's performance.
Take your boulevards, your Locust Street, your Chestnut, Pine, your Olive. Take your Forest Park and Shaw's Garden, your avenues that lead past street corner violence, past your West End, past your limit, to shabby suburban crime, vandalism in the parking lot, abductions from the shopping mall, like making the same mistake over and over, on the piano or typewriter keys, always hitting the wrong note. How very alive, very American they are. How chock full of metaphysics, hell-bent to obliterate the wilderness. Learn to live with sycamores, their sad peeling trunks scabbed all over, with shabby patches, their enormous leaves in dingy shades of ochre and dun. Rattling like castanets, their roots, thick as a man's leg, crawling like enormous worms out of broken pavements, continually thrusting themselves up from pools of shade they make, sculpturing the street with dappled dark and light, as glaucoma, a disease of the eye, makes the world more beautiful with its mysterious rainbows. Already in Iowa, the monarchs are emerging, signaling with their tawny wings. In regalia of burnt orange and umber, the spangled imperial procession meanders along the democratic roadsides, along straight state lines, over rivers and artificial lakes, and the loneliness of Middle America on the way to Mexico. The tiny wind of their passing is not even recorded as a disturbance in the atmosphere. Driving back into the American past, homesick for forests, flowers without names, vast savannas, lowlands or mountains teeming with game, bluffs crowded with cottonwoods, mud banks where crocodiles might sun themselves. Finding instead the remains of strange picnics, replications of old selves, a cacophony of changes, like a room crowded with chairs in which no one can sit, as if history were furniture grown splintered and shabby. Studying a picturesque rustic architecture to master its splendid abstractions, shady verandas and porches, or the Republican simplicity of a cow.
All right, Sandia, thank you very, very much. Our next presenter is Max Stern from Natomas Charter School. After graduation, Max's future plans might include writing or perhaps becoming a mushroom farmer. Let's watch Max Stern.
Did you sneeze? Yes, I rid myself of the imposter inside me. Did you iron your shirt? Yes, I used the steam of my mother's hate. Did you wash your hands? I learned my hygiene from a raccoon. I prayed on my knees, and my knees answered with pain. I gargled, I polished my shoes until I saw who I was. I walked to my interview early. The sun like a ring on an electric stove. I patted my hair as I entered the wind of a revolving door. The guard said, for a guy like you, it's the 19th floor. The economy was up, flags whipped in every city plaza in America. This I saw for myself as I rode the elevator alone. empty because everyone had a job but me. Did you clean your ears? Yes, I heard my fate in the drinking fountain's idiotic drivel. Did you slice a banana into your daily mush? I added a pinch of salt and 2 raisins to sweeten my breath. Did you remember your pen? I remembered my hands as the elevator opened. I shook hands that dripped like a dirty sea. I found a chair and a desk. My name tag said my name. Through the glass ceiling, I saw the heavy rumps of CEOs. Outside my window, the sun is a burning stove. All of us pushing papers to keep it going.
All right, thank you, Mac. Thank you very much. Next, we have Joy Kaler from Intercom High School. Joy's future plans are, after graduation, are studying law at Berkeley. So let's watch Joy.
I language want to dress my fancies in. The hair uncurled, the garments loose and thin. Had they but silver lace to make them gay, they'd be more courted than in poor array. Or had they art, would make a better show. But they are plain, yet clearly do they go. The world in bravery thou take delight, and glittering shows to more attract the sight. And everyone thou honor a rich hood, as if the outside made the inside good. And everyone thou bow and give the place, not for the man's sake, but the silver lace. Let me entreat in my poor book's behalf, that all will not adore the golden calf. Consider, pay, gold hath no life therein, and life in nature is the richest thing. Be just, let fancy have the upper place, and then my verses may perchance find grace.
Thank you very much, Joy. Our final student presenter in round 2 is Arun Dixit from Vista del Lago High School. After Arun graduates, he would like to work towards an economics degree at a 4-year college. Let's watch Arun's performance.
Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it were to perish twice, I think I know of enough hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice.
All right. Thank you, Arun, and thank you to all of our young presenters for the amazing jobs that you did. Give yourselves a round of applause. We really appreciate what you did for us. That was amazing. And so hard, too. It is really hard to do what you did, to memorize and recite like that. It takes a lot of courage, so you should be proud of yourselves. We also want to thank the teachers and the students and their families who supported our students. So now it's time to announce the runner-up and the winner of the 2022 Sacramento County Poetry Out Loud competition. And for that, I would like to turn it over to my good friend, Dr. Steve Winlock. He's the Executive Director of the SCOE School of Education, and he oversees our arts initiatives at the county office. Steve.
Thank you, Tim. Wow. I am just in awe. As I listen to each one of you, I think what a gift you have been in providing us with your talent, your background understanding. I just really want to say, I was so impressed with all of you in so much. You know, I serve as an arts commissioner for the city of Sacramento also. And one of the things that we want to make sure that we're supporting is supporting our artists. And you clearly are artists in this area that we all need to make sure we're supporting. So I want to say thank you. Thank you. Our winner for today's competition from Elk Grove High School, Samantha Albiani. Round of applause. Our runner-up, Matt Stern from Natomas Charter School. With those, again, all of you are winners so much in this competition because of the gift that you have given to us. It was so beautifully done. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Winlock, thank you. Before we move forward, Samantha, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you so much for putting on this contest. It's been amazing to learn about poetry, how each of the things work, and find messages and works. I've really grown so much from this process, so thank you so much. Thanks to everyone else who competed, and congratulations on getting here. And thank you so much for appreciating what we do.
All right, well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, Samantha. We really appreciate it. Mac, as a runner-up, would you like to say a few words as well?
Yeah, this is really exciting. I did not expect this to happen. I should have probably prepared I don't know. I mean, you're all like really talented, and I'm just really glad that I got to be a part of this. Ms. Prattle, the person at my school who helped me, thank you so much for like believing in me and helping me like every step of the way. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mac. And Samantha Albiani, congratulations to you. You are now eligible for the California Poetry Out Loud competitions, which will be virtual again this year. We'll make arrangements for all of you students to make sure you get your certificates and your awards. And to Samantha and Mac, we'll make sure that we have some sort of special presentation at your school sites. So thanks to everyone who participated this year. We really appreciate it. You are all a bunch of really talented students, and your school communities should be proud of you. So thank you for joining us again, and we hope to see you next year.